What if Meghan Markle never gave birth to her children at all? No, really. Pause on that, because this isn't just some wild internet theory. Meghan's own father publicly claimed she froze her eggs years ago. Then her brother reportedly dropped an even bigger bombshell that she had a full hysterectomy before she ever met Prince Harry. That flips everything upside down. According to multiple sources, all of this allegedly happened while she was still married to her first husband, Trevor Engelson. And if that timeline holds, how exactly did she give birth to 2 royal children years later? But wait, this one hits different. Because we're not just talking about eggs on ice. There's another layer: money. Apparently, Meghan couldn't even afford to keep her frozen eggs preserved. The storage fees? Reportedly between $8,000 and $9,000 a month. That's no pocket change. And that's just the beginning. Back then, Meghan wasn't living in luxury. In fact, insiders say she was only making around $7,000 per episode on Suits. And get this, she barely showed up. Across 108 episodes, her total screen time only adds up to 138 minutes. That's less than a feature film for 7 seasons of work. So, here's the math. If she couldn't afford to store her eggs and allegedly had a hysterectomy, where did the royal babies come from? But it gets worse. Because this isn't just about frozen embryos. The real mystery is how Meghan managed to reappear years later with not 1, but 2 children who are supposedly hers. People started digging, and what they found didn't add up. There's hardly any footage of her pregnant in the wild. No off-guard bump shots, no hospital confirmation, not even a blurry paparazzi snap. Now compare that to literally any other royal pregnancy and tell me something's not off. But listen to this. There's one video that refuses to die, and it might be the smoking gun. It shows Meghan Markle walking through a hospital during the pandemic, wearing what many claim is a fake pregnancy belly. Known online as the infamous moon bump clip, it captured her baby bump literally folding in on itself as she squatted down. Not sagging, not shifting, folding, like foam. And here's where it gets crazier. This wasn't just any hospital visit. COVID rules were in full effect. Maternity wards were locked down. No outside visitors, no cameras, no exceptions. Yet Meghan strolled in, belly out, cameras rolling. What hospital signs off on that? And why does her bump behave like a Halloween prop? People zoomed in, slowed it down, frame by frame analysis. And what they found didn't scream baby, it screamed padding. And speaking of interviews that aged poorly, every time Meghan talks about her kids, something feels off. There's no spark, no warmth, no light in her eyes like most mothers have when they speak about their babies. Her answers come off flat, sometimes even weirdly rehearsed. And when she's around the kids in public, it's stiff, distant, like she's trying to act maternal, but the instinct just isn't there. But if you thought that clip was cringe-inducing, just watch how she holds her daughter in one interview. Arms locked, no eye contact, like she's cradling a stranger's kid for a photo op. It's robotic. One clip even shows the child reaching for someone off camera, not Meghan. And people are starting to say the quiet part out loud. Where's the bond? You can fake a smile, you can fake a baby bump, but you can't fake motherly instinct. But things only got worse. Here's where the conspiracy hits full speed, because eagle-eyed viewers notice something very strange. In one set of paparazzi pics, Meghan is seen at Disneyland with her daughter. The next day, the same daughter shows up in a completely different outfit. But something's off. Her face, height, even hair texture, not the same kid, according to some fans. And it gets crazier. Online sleuths started comparing public appearances side by side, lining up photos, freeze-framing videos, and what they claim to find is shocking. The children's facial features change from one outing to the next. Their body proportions don't match. One day, the little girl looks 3. The next, she looks 5. Either she's aging in dog years, or we're seeing stand-ins being used. Why would a royal couple need child doubles? And speaking of bad questions, where were the birth records? For a couple as globally scrutinized as Harry and Meghan, you'd think their children's births would be well documented. But nope. No hospital confirmations, no statements from doctors, no footage of them leaving a maternity ward, just curated photos released after the fact. You know, the kind where the lighting's perfect, the angle's flattering, and nothing looks remotely candid. But it gets worse. Even the birth certificates raised eyebrows. At one point, Meghan's royal title was removed from Archie's certificate, then mysteriously added back later. In the US, that's not even supposed to happen. Royal titles aren't valid legal names here. Insiders say the confusion got so deep that even immigration officials reportedly reached out to King Charles for clarification. That's not normal protocol, that's damage control. And if Meghan was never pregnant, that paper trail might be a whole lot messier than we realize. But listen to this. Let's not pretend Harry's just along for the ride. He's in this neck deep. He's the one pushing for their kids to have HRH titles, even after Queen Elizabeth reportedly made it clear, no titles for royals who step back. Yet somehow, Charles caved. Gave Archie and Lilibet titles like party favors. Why? Some say Meghan used the children as leverage, brand power, locked-in legacy, a permanent tie to the monarchy. 2 royal children born into the firm, no matter how they got here. But here's the kicker. Every time Harry speaks about protecting his family, it feels more like PR than passion. He calls the paparazzi when it helps their image, sues them when it doesn't. One moment he's crying privacy, the next he's staging photo ops. And speaking of photo ops, just wait till we talk about that viral twerking video. Right when questions about the kids started bubbling again, boom! A video of Meghan twerking goes viral. Coincidence? Or a classic distraction drop? Think about it. This clip conveniently stole the headlines just as people were revisiting the fake belly theories, the birth certificate mess, and those awkward child appearances. It's a tactic straight out of the Hollywood playbook. Create noise to drown out the real story. But here's where the cracks really start to show. Meghan's defenders say she's just private. But how many private people drop calculated viral videos the second the heat's on? This isn't about guarding her kids. It's about controlling the narrative, smoke, mirrors, and a PR team working overtime. Because the real question that refuses to die is simple. Who are these kids really? And the next section might just blow the lid off. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Meghan anymore. It's about the illusion and how long they can keep it alive. Because people are paying attention. They've started lining up photos, watching body language, tracking timelines, comparing outfits, facial features, even analyzing how many teeth the kids have from one event to the next. The more curated the images, the more suspicious they become. And here's the twist. Harry isn't just playing along. He's helping shape this entire story. The man who once claimed the press ruined his life, now he's calling them, flying private while preaching climate change, suing tabloids while feeding photo ops. It's hypocrisy on full display. But silence speaks louder than spin. The palace hasn't said a word. No denials, no clarifications, just quiet tolerance. But when you're still listed on the official royal family website, still using the Duchess title, still cashing in on royal clout, you're not private, you're in the game. And that game may be unraveling, because the truth has a nasty habit of surfacing. And when it does, when the illusion finally breaks, when even the mainstream press can't keep up the cover, this could go down as one of the biggest image hoaxes in royal history. The only question is, who knew? And who helped make it happen?